Welcome into another episode of New England Sports Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Mann. Thanks for listening. And we're going to talk about week 2 and the wild banana stuff that was happening. We're currently watching the Thursday night football, so we'll talk about the Brownies and the Steelers. We'll touch on a little bit of hockey and then a couple extra curricular things, but we'll try to keep it short this time. Let me bring in my co-host, Smitty. What have you been up to?
What is up, Ian? So week 2 of the NFL of I don't know how the fantasy leagues honestly look. I'll have to look while we're chatting about it, and I know we're gonna talk about that here in a few minutes. Jesus Christ. But I've put in a few parlay bets, which I've sent to you in Canada. I got one for tonight's game. Pretty decent one, 9-leg parlay, $5 wins $4K. So I'm looking forward to that. And they're all gettable, in my opinion. They're all gettable. So we'll see how that goes. If I win my 4K, I told Ian in Canada that I'd bring him out to dinner in Portland. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, so last time we talked, I think we talked about it a little bit. I was on my pursuit. I was on my pursuit for the cup or the my mug at the Liberal Cup.
Yes.
Today it was like Borat. You will never get this. You will never get this. And then he got out and he get this.
So today, you got your alcoholics badge is what you got?
Yeah, 250. And let's see, I started February 28th. So that's just under 7 months, 250 beers at the cup.
You have to do it all in 1 year?
You have to do it in a calendar year, yeah. From when, sorry, not calendar, a year from when you start.
Okay. Still pretty bananas, though.
What's that?
It's like 3 different beers every time you go, or more.
I mean, it averages out to a little under 5 beers a week, which is, pretty easily gettable. You could do 2 beers sitting having lunch pretty easily. So got that today. A little badge of honor. One of my coworkers, she's going to paint the bottom, and the bottom's going to be the 3-leaf clover of the Celtics. And then on each leaf is going to be Bruins, Patriots, Red Sox, like their symbols or their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their symbols. Logo. Hey, I've had a couple pints today. So anyway, other than that, my birthday this past weekend, Sunday was my birthday. I watched football starting at the pregame at about 11:30, and I probably sat in my chair, got up a couple times to pee and get beers, but for the most part sat there until probably at least 10:30. So it was almost a 12-hour day. I sat and watched football for week 2. Watched Patriots.
Glorious.
It was phenomenal. Watch Patriots win, which is great. We'll get to that in just a little bit. I also, what you're fully aware of, I also won my pick'em, which was a $66 advantage to me, and now I'm tied for the lead in that, which is decent amount of money to win for the year. So things are looking up for the old boy. Look at this flea flicker. My goodness.
It turned into a screenplay. Yeah, it was bananas.
Oh my goodness. I got Kareem Hunt.
It was a handoff to Kareem Hunt, or technically a pass maybe. And then it turned into like a jet sweep reverse. And then it turned that into a flea flicker.
Yeah. It was a hand,
which that turned into a screen pass.
That was a pass to Hunt, and then a reverse jet sweep to whoever 11 is on the Browns, and then a flea flicker to Brissett, and then I got Kareem Hunt, 27 or more receiving yards on
then a screen pass to Kareem Hunt. I think 11 is Peoples-Jones.
Oh, okay. Okay. DPJ. Who's number 2? Mari
Amari
Cooper?
Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so it's overall, it's been a pretty good fucking week, bud. Um, I'm just so excited. NFL came back. Next week, I'm out. I'm in Idaho. We're going out to Idaho for a work conference, and then that following Saturday, Casey, Patrick, and I are going to take our first trip to the Bruins. We're going to go to the Bruins game. So it'll be Patrick's first Bruins game ever. We're gonna check that one off on. I think I've told you, but our goal is to make it to every NHL arena, the 3 of us. So yeah, I mean it's overall it's been dynamite. What have you been up to?
Pretty much what you've been up to. I've been scouring my dynasty teams and watching football.
You've been trying to tinker too much, like you always do, because you get bored with the team.
I had
But
to
go
talk
on.
myself off the ledge last night at like 1:30. I was like, I gotta stop looking at this. I have 0 assets to trade. I can't get anybody. I can't scheme anybody into anything. I just need to let it ride. Let's ride.
Let it ride, bud.
So let's get into it. So while we were watching the Patriots and Steelers, which is god awful, and then if you flip the channel, you get the Saints and Bucks, which was god awful. And then while we're watching these awful games and commercials, and like it was just brutal for like the first 2 or 3 hours. And then after the Patriots game finishes, then it cuts into the Ravens and Miami game, which was bananas. I wish I had watched that the whole time. The Ravens were up like, I don't know, what were they up, 35, 20 something?
It was a wide margin. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. And anyway, Smitty's favorite player, Tua, comes back,
Jesus
throws
Christ.
6 touchdowns, almost 500 yards. I mean, the guy was bananas.
Put him in the Hall of Fame, Ian.
Just give him the jacket now. So that was bananas. The Cards versus the Raiders later. The Raiders kind of blew that one. They should have won, but Hunter Renfrow fumbled once, got it back, and then the next play, he gets hit again, fumbles again. This time the other team scoops and scores instead of them like kicking a field goal and ending it. And then the probably the worst comeback was somebody just missed a PAT. The worst
in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm behind then. I just saw the touchdown scored.
Yeah, and Boswell missed a field goal earlier. So the Jets and Browns played last week. The Browns were up 31-17.
Oh, doinked it.
Or 30-17. And they ended up losing the game. And they're like, well, some people are trying to say it was Nick Chubb's fault, but I don't care. Nick Chubb scored a 3rd touchdown for me, so I'll take it. But I guess he could have slid down or whatever, and they could have kneeled it out. Sure, but what happened next is Joe Flacco threw a 60-yard bomb to Corey Davis, and then they got an onside kick, and then they threw another bomb to Garrett Wilson. Like, that's not on Nick Chubb. That's poor coaching, and that's poor defense.
They scored 14 points in a minute 22. That's real bad defense.
Yeah, that's not Nick Chubb's fault. Technically, you could blame the coach, I guess, but
sure, I mean, Nick Chubb maybe could have ended it. Don't get me wrong, but
Kareem Hunt on the play before accidentally went out of bounds. That was the problem.
Oh, you're gonna blame it on Kareem Hunt? Of course you would.
Play before should stay in bounds.
You're something else.
The Lions won.
Yeah, first time Lions have ever been favored in like
2 years.
Fucking 8 years. Yeah, no, they in 2 years, first time they've been favored, and they ended up beating Washington. Really good game. I mean, the Lions have been solid. Amon-Ra St. Brown,
he's a monster.
Decent wide receiver.
The Eagles and Vikings were one of the doubleheaders on Monday night. And like that looked like the billing of that was going to be like a good game. No, the Eagles shellacked them top to bottom. The game was pitiful. Kirk Cousins threw like 3 interceptions. Justin Jefferson didn't do anything. Darius Slay shadowed him pretty good. But there's a lot of Super Bowl hype for the Eagles now because of how bad they shellacked them.
Which is, I don't think the Eagles are going to get the Super Bowl. They're not going to get past some of the big contenders in the NFC. But I don't know if Cousins know this, but Darius Slay plays for Philadelphia, not the Vikings.
Yeah, the meme was Kirk Cousins saying, "Screw it, Slay's down there," and just throws it. So the Bills played the Titans again. The Bills shellacked them. So there's a lot of hype about the Bills being in the Super Bowl, but I mean it's week 2. Relax, people, relax. A lot of it has to do with injuries. If Josh Allen goes down, season's over. Like that's it.
You could say that about
every team.
Most teams, though. I mean, yeah, if Patrick Mahomes goes down, that team is literally done.
Yeah,
they probably won't even make playoffs.
Yeah, but injuries are part of the game. Like if your best wide receiver goes down, your best running back goes down, like that makes a big difference.
I think wide receiver and running back is a little more replaceable than the quarterback position, right?
Sure. The Eagles have Gardner Minshew in his bomber jacket, as the number 2 QB.
They also got Ian Book as the number 3.
The Saints don't have him?
They cut him and Philadelphia picked him up.
So we saw the Bucks beat the Saints. That was kind of an ugly game. A brawl broke out between Mike Evans. I forget the other guy's name.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Apparently he likes to chirp, and Evans and him hate each other. And this goes back like years and years and years. And like they've gotten fisticuffs before. So Mike Evans he's the retaliator, I guess, / instigator at the same time. But so he gets a 1-game suspension. Sucks for somebody's fantasy team, but not mine.
So quick story. I don't think there's anything to look into this, but I don't know if you read the story on ESPN, but the guy who lays down the suspensions in the NFL, his son plays for Green Bay.
Okay.
They're playing Green Bay this week. So there was conspiracy that he was laying down the law because now he's not going to play Green Bay this week. So I don't think there's much to look into it, but it was a storyline on ESPN.
Watch this in a second. Watch the running back.
Najee Harris?
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't die.
Yeah, just watch.
Is he going to die? Fuck. Ian.
Watch. Well, he watches that. We'll move on. No, I don't think it's conspiracy.
Oh, boy. What a play. What a block.
Yeah, he's in pass protection, just dump trucks the guy who's coming in after we flips him over.
Fuck yeah. He went ass over tea kettle. Yep. What a play. And my boy Deontay Johnson caught the pass. That's a linebacker. That's a big boy, Phillips. I mean, he's not like built like a normal linebacker. He's probably like a safety linebacker, like hybrid.
Yeah, like but Najee Harris is like the bus. He's like a bigger than average running back. Like,
yeah, he's probably what, 230, 240, something like that.
At least. So we'll talk about the Patriots a little bit. Let's get into the Patriots Steelers. That was an ugly game. Any of those low scoring, drag it out games, the Patriots are going to win those like 9 out of 10 times. And there's nothing about the Steelers that scares the Patriots. Like I said, it was very ugly. Mitch made like a couple mistakes. We didn't really give him anything. We ended up winning. I guess there was a couple big plays, but nothing super major to be impressed about. Like it's just a win. Nothing to really build on, I guess. The Steelers aren't exactly the hardest competition for the Patriots. We've pretty much owned them the last 20 years. Do you have any other insights or details? I mean, I thought it was a pretty ugly game.
Yeah, it was, and honestly, the touchdown that the Patriots had to, what was it, Aguilar down the sideline. Great coverage by that DB. It was just
Oh, didn't
really
Aguilar jump over him?
he jumped over him honestly, you got lucky and caught it. That's full disclosure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
Mitch
was
Trubisky doesn't scare me. Like he wasn't going to beat us. Like
no. But the one
Najee
thing
Harris could have gotten loose though.
the one thing, yeah, but Najee, I mean, I think he's better this week, but last week he was coming off an injury from week 1. I don't think he was 100%. So, but I will say with like the Steelers and the Patriots, it was, like you said, very boring game for the most part. One thing I did really dislike, it was so final score 17-14, right? The Patriots won by 3. Covered. I won that game. But the Steelers fans, and this is going to happen all the time when you have a rookie quarterback that people want to put in.
Oh, sure.
But it was like 14-7 or something like that. Maybe it was 10-7, and the fans are chanting Kenny, and I'm like, the game is in hand. It's not like you're getting blown out like
Right.
Buffalo blew out Tennessee, or even Philadelphia blew out Minnesota. You're not getting blown out. Why chant Kenny? The game was a 1-score game. It's not like, it was not. It just pissed me off that that happened.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that their offense looked horrible, and it did. So did the Patriots, but like, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
But the teams, I mean, again, the teams, in my opinion, they didn't look neither. Let me say that neither offense looked great, but
But
I think
I don't think it's the defense that was like affecting that. Like I think they just weren't good.
I think both defenses played above average.
Sure.
I think they played solid, especially Pittsburgh's without
Did you have
TJ
Mitch
Watt.
Trubisky for a rushing touchdown? No.
No, I got him for a passing touchdown to Pat Fryermuth if that comes up. Trubisky just scored a rushing.
Yep. All right. So yeah, not a whole lot to talk about the Patriots Steelers. I mean, we knew we were going to win that game. He might be down. Anyway, let's talk about the preview of the Pats Ravens. So I have us losing this game. I think in our yearly pick'em, I think I have the Pats losing this game. It's at home, but Lamar Jackson's a problem. And I don't think we have necessarily the offensive firepower to really,
Why'd you put that in quotes? I don't think we have the offensive firepower anyway.
Exactly. But that's sort of like how Miami got back into it last week, is that the Ravens are decimated in their secondary. They have nobody out there. So, and obviously nobody could keep up with Hill and Waddle, but what we should do is just spy him and not let Lamar Jackson beat us with his legs. Let him beat him if he throws 3 touchdowns, great. Like I'll take that all day. But they better not let him run for like 115 and 3 touchdowns. Like that's going to be a problem.
So in our pick'em, you have Patriots beating the Baltimore.
Okay, but I don't believe that.
So you're thinking it's going to be 9-8. Patriots. Those knees down, but that ball is past the line at that point. I think it's a touchdown. So you think Patriots are going to be 9-8?
No, I'll stick with my original pick. If I pick the Patriots, it's just going to be a lot. If it's a close game, the Patriots can win it. But if they put up 38 like they did in Miami last week, like we're not going to win that game. We're going to lose that every time.
Agreed.
It's at home. I'll take the Patriots.
J.K. Dobbins is coming back. Is it at home?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No. I had the schedule open before.
No, it is at home. You're right. So I think the Patriots lose this game. We talked about it on our win-loss, and I have them down as a loss. Yeah, I just don't think the Patriots are going to be able to pull this one out. I think Baltimore's offense is better than the Patriots' defense. They just put up 500 yards against Miami, who has a better defense than the Patriots' defense.
Cover Mark Andrews, and then have somebody just spy Lamar Jackson.
Maybe you say that.
One of the big problems in that Miami game, I rewatched some of it, is like Lamar Jackson ran for like 115 yards.
You say that, but he had one like 85-yard rush.
Yeah.
So you take that away, he ran for 30 yards. Sure, he got loose once. It's like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry gets loose once and he has 140 yards.
Yeah, but I'll take the Patriots secondary over Miami secondary. Our linebackers are terrible. That's the Patriots' problem. They don't have any linebackers.
No, I mean they have the Miami's got like three Pro Bowlers on their secondary. What are you, drunk?
They didn't do very good last week, and I think the Patriots are better scheme wise than Miami is.
They did better against the Patriots.
Sure.
So anyway, no, I think Baltimore takes this. I don't think it's going to be that close of a game. I think Baltimore's going to cover the pick'em, which is the spread. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's where I'm confused. In the pick'em, I have Baltimore covering, but in my yearly, I have the Patriots. But I had picked that, at the start of the season. I'm just going to stick with it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to flip flop.
Baltimore's favored by 3.5.
Yeah, but Baltimore has like 0 running backs. You just cover Mark Andrews, their best weapon. Like, I think it's winnable.
Is it winnable? Sure. Yeah. Do I think they're going to win it? No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So, yeah, no, the Patriots, they're just not. I don't think they're going to come out on top on this, unfortunately.
So, how are you doing in your fantasy leagues? I'm what you would say is undefeated. I think that's the correct term, undefeated. I was playing the person in one of the leagues who had Lamar Jackson, and he had like 48 points. I was like, what the bleep? Like, good game. I already lost this match. And then Tua throws for 6 touchdowns, so Tua ends up with like 52 points. I did not expect that. I don't think anybody saw that coming. But Miami has a huge test coming up, a litmus test, where they have to play Buffalo. So I think it'll be closer than people think so I have Miami covering that game. They might not win it, but I think the Bills secondary is a little beat up. Their 2 safeties didn't even practice today. And they're starting 2 rookie corners. So if their rookie corners and their beat up safeties want to deal with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, good luck. And if they're covered, Mike Gesicki over the middle.
Mike Gesicki is going to block most of the time.
Very athletic tight end. Guy's got great hands.
So in my leagues, I'm in 4 of them, as we've talked about. I'm 2-0 in 1, and then 1-1 in the other 3.
Garbage.
It certainly could be better.
Still early. Yeah. Still early. You can recover.
My one that one of the leagues. When's the last time you won a championship, by the way?
Not one recently. Leagues, 2016, maybe?
One of the leagues that I won a championship last year, I'm 2-0, and I have the most points for by 7 points.
Nice.
I 276 points in a half-point PPR. So looking good so far. And we talked about my team. It's fucking banana lands good. I scored 171 last week.
We know it's a long season, just like with the real teams. You just have to get to the playoffs. That's all it matters. You just got to piece it together, get to the playoffs, and then anything can happen.
Yep. So, I mean, overall goal is, like you said, make it to playoffs. I have put in a couple daily or a game, couple game parlays, and we talked about that a little bit. That I'm hoping to win one of these nice parlays. That'd be nice. Let's do a quick update. Pat Fryermuth needs to catch a touchdown on this one, but let's look at these stats. You can go on to the next thing. I'll tell you about the stats here.
I mean, that was really it. I mean, we can keep talking about my fantasy team. I mean, I got Tua in both leagues. I don't know. I'm impressed with what they did against Baltimore, but obviously that's not the high bar. Buffalo is, and they're about to play Buffalo, so.
And they're gonna get the fucking doors blown off of them.
We're gonna learn a lot real quick.
I would put, if I had a foreskin on it, I would put a foreskin on it that Miami is going to get the fucking doors blown off of them.
So I also think Buffalo's overrated still for two reasons. Yeah, they beat the Rams, which is a good team, but none of their players played in the preseason and they had the Super Bowl hangover. I get that. And then week 2, they beat the Tennessee Titans, who are not good anymore. They're no longer good. They're not one of those top tier teams. Derrick Henry's still there, but he's 28 or 27. Like, he's up there in yards. But the big thing is Taylor Lewan went down, and another offensive lineman went down in that game. So they were missing 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen in that game. That's why they look so bad. They couldn't do anything. They were just lucky to get out there without any more injuries, essentially. So they got their doors blown off them. So I think you'll be able to gauge them better when they play better teams.
So I was looking. I agree with you. I don't think Tennessee's there anymore.
I think they're on the way down. I think they crested last year, the year before, and they're on the way down.
But I think I agree with you. But I think that division is still
garbage.
It's still winnable. It's like the NFC East. Really, a team's going to win it at 8 and 9 probably.
The Giants are 2-0. The Giants could win that division.
No, they're not going to win that division. Philadelphia's going to win that division.
Yeah, hands down.
Oh, look at Kareem Hunt.
I'd pick the Eagles to win that division.
Yeah. So I was looking at a 8-team parlay on this. It would have paid me $3.2 million doing the picks, the 4 divisions for NFL and 4 divisions for NHL. Just division winners.
Yeah, I mean,
$3.2 million. Oh, Udoka suspended for
at least a year.
Yep, the whole season.
Takes him to the NBA Finals and then suspended for a year. What an idiot.
Well, I mean, don't get after female staffers. I mean, it's pretty easy.
I mean, he knew what he was doing.
So, but anyway, in getting back to fantasy, it's still early. I did lose in the keeper, or sorry, not keeper. The that's what I'm looking for. The Pick'em League, that Survivor. That's what it is. I lost in Survivor. I picked fucking Cincinnati over Dallas, which they should have won. Cincinnati's a full, healthy team, and Dallas didn't have Dak Prescott.
Imagine all the people who picked the Browns over the Jets.
Yeah. So
or picked against the Lions.
I picked Detroit to actually, well, at least cover that game. But no, I had to pick them to win by 3 because they were favored. So. But anyway, it's been a wild, like it normally is, a wild first 3 weeks or 2 weeks of the NFL.
This is
I
the new
feel like
preseason.
yeah, I feel like after week 4, you have a better idea of what every team's going to look like for the rest of the year, barring injuries like we talked about.
Yeah.
But I think if everybody's healthy, you have a better idea and able to pick games, able to pick what everybody's going to do, things like that. So I mean, my biggest hope is that everybody on your team dies before the end of the year, so I don't have to hear you talk about how good your regular season is and then lose to me in the playoffs.
And just for that, Tua's going to throw 7 touchdowns against you.
I figured he'd like that. Oh, that a boy. Oh, it was 3rd and 8. That's tough.
So, talk to me about Tua. Just let me know that you were wrong and that he's a great quarterback. Just say it.
He had 1 week.
A historic week.
Yeah, sure. Joe Flacco had a historic week.
He did win a Super Bowl.
Has Tua made the playoffs yet?
No. I don't think so.
No. Once he makes the playoffs, wins the playoff games, maybe even wins a Super Bowl, which
he has more wins than Justin Herbert, right? He's a better record than Justin Herbert.
So,
do you
think he's a better quarterback than Justin Herbert?
You know how many playoff wins Justin Herbert has, or how many times he's made the playoffs? 0.
No, he made the playoffs last year.
Who did they?
I don't know. I just fucking made.
I don't think so.
But no, and I fully agree. But I think Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Tua.
Well, I mean, we just like his size better. So I watched something on Good Morning Football the other day, and they were like, we think there's some left-handed bias, and so they did a weird mirror thing where they showed Tua making all his throws right-handed. It was pretty trippy.
That's weird.
Yeah, all the numbers were backwards and stuff, but it was all him throwing right-handed the whole time, and I was like, oh. But when he throws left-handed, it throws me off too, because there's only one left-handed quarterback. I think it's him. There's nobody else.
Is it? There's only 2 left-handed quarterbacks that have ever won the Super Bowl. Do you know who they are?
Well, Steve Young's one.
Obviously.
And then there's another one.
I'm like 60% sure.
I'm going to go with John Elway.
John Elway is right-handed.
I have no idea.
Kenny Stabler.
Okay. John Elway just had like a weird chicken wing delivery.
So did Phillip Rivers.
It's because his shoulder's busted. He was more like a shock putter.
Yeah.
He had the ugliest throw.
But anyway, yeah, no. So that's the reason I don't like left-handed quarterbacks. They're not quite as good as right-handed.
Well, I think
same with golfers. They're just not quite as good.
I think some of this has to do with is you're a young, good baseball player and you're right-handed. You're left-handed. You get brought in or taught to be a pitcher, and so most of the left-handed athletes are going towards pitching instead of playing football. Tua is actually not left-handed.
I didn't know that.
He's right-handed.
Is he like Rafa Nadal who plays left-handed but he's right-handed?
Yeah, he throws a football lefty, but he does everything else righty. His dad, when he was younger, his dad made him throw a football lefty.
Huh. It's interesting.
I wonder if he's better right-handed.
He'll be the ambidextrous quarterback, so he'll drop back left-handed and then be like, nah, Lane's not that good. Throw right-handed.
I mean, that should be a skill.
It's starting to be in the NFL. The MLB.
Yeah, there's one pitcher that does that. All right. Well, now that we're done fantasy talk, and my team is awesome, and I'm undefeated in both leagues.
Your fantasy's garbage.
Undefeated, buddy. Hard to talk about that.
Best regular season record.
So Zdeno Chara, they couldn't talk him into it.
No, I don't think they wanted to. He played 24 seasons, bud.
But he could be like the third line D-man.
No.
You don't think he could be on the third line, and that would bump somebody up?
No.
Too slow, too old.
No, it's just the Bruins team is their lines are they're too good. So what Ian's talking about, Zdeno Chara decided to call it a career. He played 24 seasons in the NHL. Guy was a fucking animal. He signed a 1-day contract with the Bruins to retire with the team as a Bruin. So he was drafted by the Islanders. He played 1,680 NHL games, regular season games, and then another 200 playoff games. And what they say is every playoff game is like 2 regular season games. So he almost played 2,000 regular season NFL games or NHL games. Sorry, Mari
Equivalent, yep.
Cooper I'm pretty sure he didn't make that catch. But um yeah, the guy was a warrior. He was he was so feared in the NHL. Won that hardest shot. I'm pretty sure he still owns that record on hardest shot. 1069, something like that. 106.9 miles an hour on a shot. And so yeah, he's just guy was a monster.
Nice little
I'm
PA.
glad. I'm glad he'll probably get his number retired by the Bruins, but played for drafted by the Islanders, played for obviously the Islanders, the Senators, the Bruins, the Capitals, and then this past year, he played for the Islanders one more time to finish out the career. But guy was a monster, and it was really, again, glorious career, and I'm glad to see that he retired a Bruin. It's pretty nice. It's similar to, not that um, Ray Bork did the same thing, but Ray Bork did retire a Bruin after signing with or playing a year with Colorado, but he went and won his cup, whereas Zdeno won with the 2011 Bruins.
Yeah, no, he was one of the stalwarts on those Bruins teams for a long, long time. So he gave us, a good run. Went to the Cup, won it once, lost it once, right?
Twice.
Lost it twice. Yep.
Against Chicago in 2013, and
Yeah.
then St. Louis in
Right.
2019, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, and he hasn't been a top demon in a long time. So, but yeah, he was for like a majority of his career. So, hats off
But
to him.
a leader on and off the ice too. From what they've said, he's always the hardest worker. He'd show you and I up in the gym right now. Just a very, very hard worker, and it is really cool to see. Really, really cool to see him retire a Bruin. I mean, again, they've always talked about how good he was, and lead by example type of guy he was. So, moving on to some other NHL news, couple other retirements. PK Subban announced his retirement. I think I looked at it. I should have wrote it down. I think it was a 13-year career roughly. And Keith Yandel retired. I think he had a 16-year career. Both of them announced their retirement this week. Pretty wild. Both of these guys, great defensemen over the years that had just Subban, maybe not quite as much as Keith Yandel. Yandel was more of an offensive defenseman.
How long was
Great.
Subban's career?
I think 13 or so years.
Okay, for some reason I feel like he's younger than that, but
I mean, he played against the Bruins in 2011 when they won the cup. He was on the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, but wasn't he like a rookie then?
That's still 11 years ago.
Yeah.
No, but I think he had a year or two before then. So again, I'm going off of memory. I should have wrote it down, but yeah, pretty wild. I'm in the same boat as you. I felt like he hasn't been in the league that long, but he's certainly made his money, and Yeah, good for him. I mean, he gets to retire on his own terms. I don't think he had a lot of injury trouble. Pretty
Did
much
he
throughout his whole career.
win a cup anywhere? I don't think so.
He didn't win a cup. He just last year he won the King Clancy, which is similar to like the Walter Payton in the NFL, the community outreach type award. So yeah, but he didn't win a cup. He was in Montreal, got traded from Montreal to Nashville for Shea Weber, and
Yep.
then he got traded to New Jersey, and he spent his last couple years in New Jersey, and then again retired. And then Keith Yandel, a Boston area boy, he just retired. He had again a hell of a career. It's great to see. He just announced it on Spit and Chicklets actually whenever they came out Tuesday, I think it was. Just announced his retirement. That was the first time that anybody heard of it. So good for both those guys. They had great careers. Both of them, I really think they can move on and do whatever it is they want, especially PK. I think he's going to be really, really good at
Like
some of the
television?
media side, things like that. I think he's going to be. And then Keith, I think he's got a little more of the front office or player development type um kind of personality. I think he'd be great at media, but I feel like in the interviews and things like that that I've heard or seen him, it it seems like he'd be more of a front office, NHL front office type guy.
Yeah, I like that role better.
He'd make a shitload of money either way.
It's true.
He'd probably make more money in the media actually. But last NHL like major news that happened outside of kind of training camps just started, but Nathan McKinnon wins the cup and he gets fucking paid. He got an 8-year extension worth $100.8 million, which is 12.6 average annual value. It makes him the highest NHL player in history, which is a little surprising, but so I don't know if you know this. Him and Sid are really good friends, and Sidney Crosby is he always is like kind of he'll take less money to have a better team around him.
Hmm.
And I think Nathan McKinnon was like that until now he just won his cup and now he's like, fuck it. I'll make my 100.8 million dollars, and NHL contracts are all guaranteed unless you get bought out, but they have to agree on the number. So he's still young. I think Nathan McKinnon's in his late 20s, 27 maybe, 26.
Hmm.
So he's got a long time to play. Fucking guy he's one of the best in the world, and good to see him get paid. I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be interesting to see how Colorado. It'll be interesting to see how Colorado can pay that salary going forward over the next, let's say, 2 years until like the new TV money hits and the salary cap starts raising.
Yeah. But it's not up to the player to like take, less money. That's
No,
that's that's the GM's job. Um and like with the Patriots, like Tom Brady never took less money. They would do stuff, some salary cap manipulation where that he would get that stuff in a bonus, so it'd be guaranteed. So he
yep.
got a lot more guarantees, and they got rid of some of the non-guaranteed money. That's how they were able to shift that money around. But he didn't take less money. He also didn't like hold out for a new contract every time a new quarterback got one. So there was that. So now maybe he signed for less, when he hit free agency a couple times, but you know, he didn't take necessarily less money, but he also wasn't necessarily gouging the team for every penny they had. So, but yeah, that's not really on the player to do. But like Tom Brady was already rich anyway. Like he's married to a supermodel who makes like 4 times what he makes. So like I don't think money is an issue. So it's kind of a
Although
luxury.
they may be on the fritz, but
Yeah. Um,
I did
but
like his response though. Why you been out the last couple weeks? I'm 45. I got shit to deal with,
yeah.
basically.
But with the players though, like and the GMs, they have to, especially in hockey. I know how it works in football, but like anytime the new TV deal comes, like they know the cap is going to go up. They don't know by how much, but they can like. So this contract's, it's going to be the highest one probably for another year or two. I don't know if there's another youngster that's going to, hit free agency that they needs to.
Probably the next 2 or 3 years. Yep.
Yeah, but in football, it's totally different because they have a lot more money and the cap goes up pretty much every year. In hockey, less money, less movement. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how that works. But in the NFL, every year there's a new contract. Like
Yep.
Mahomes isn't even the highest paid player anymore, and he signed for $500 million. Like, so, sorry, $250 million. What, 250 million over 10 years, something like that. It was like 50 million a year or 45 million a year.
Yeah, 45 million a year, so it was 500
Okay.
million for 10.
Yeah. But like Aaron Rodgers already makes more than him on the per year basis, and Deshaun Watson I think's over him too now, are pretty close. I think he's just
Kyler
under.
Murray might be over him technically, and maybe not in guaranteed, but certainly in signed contract.
Oh, and here's one thing we didn't talk about, but Trey Lance went down, and I figured we should squeeze this in. Trey Lance foot, your feet are in front of you. His foot was pointing that way.
And now if you I wish I would have looked at the over under for San Francisco and bought the over pre Trey Lance going down, because they're going to blow it out of the water. Jimmy G is just a better quarterback than Trey Lance. There's no way around it.
Hands down. And now there's not that quarterback. There's not that controversy anymore of like, hey, if he plays bad, put Jimmy in. Like now the locker room knows it's Jimmy. They already like Jimmy. They know what they can do with Jimmy. They know they can get to the Super Bowl with Jimmy. They know they can at least get to the NFC Championship with Jimmy. And then, at that point, somebody just needs to make a play and you win the Super Bowl. Like,
and it's so fucking funny. The San Francisco thought they were making out, right? Restructuring his contract. Well, we're going to make out so well. Well, if you play 25% of the snaps in a game, we'll give you $250,000 bonus. Every win, you get $100,000 bonus. This guy's going to get fucking so much money. And I love sticking it to the NFL owners like this.
Yeah, I think his base contract's like 6.5, and then like his bonuses, he can make like another 6 or 5 or 6. Because of those incentives that he had no chance of reaching unless like Jimmy played bad or Trey played bad or Trey got hurt, and he happened to get hurt like game 2,
week 2. Oh,
so Jimmy's gonna smash all those, and then like if he goes to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship, do they sign him to an extension? Like, because he's gonna be free agent again.
Let's point out, not that either of us wanted to see Trey Lance get hurt, but I love seeing the NFL owners just get fucking raked over the coals for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like San Francisco, but they have a Super Bowl team, and if Trey Lance was playing bad, everybody would have just bet that would have been the story. When's Jimmy gonna play? When are they gonna put him in? You have this guy, and it's unfortunate that he hurt, but that was probably like the best scenario. If he didn't play
they're
well,
gonna win some games.
Yeah.
Now, the pick'em is very different though, especially with spreads.
Because San Francisco's better now.
Yeah. San Francisco is better now. They could score more points. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm glad you brought this up because I forgot about it. I think that I don't know that I can trust Trey Lance in the NFL at all. I haven't had enough exposure, I'll say, but also Trey Lance played one fucking year at North Dakota.
And then sat out a year.
You know,
And then sat a year behind Jimmy G. So he really hasn't played a lot of football in like 3 years.
so
And even then, it
how
was like a D2 school.
it was a D2 school, and
Well, it was a D1 school probably, but it's North Dakota State. I don't think they
yeah, but
played
it's
anybody.
FCS. Is that what it is? They're a D1 school, but Division 2 in football, something along those lines. FCS. But anyway, yeah, no, it's just crazy to think that everybody put so much stock in this guy, and
They spent
you and I
3
have talked
first
about
round
it.
picks on him, and we thought they were going to take Mac Jones.
You and
Well,
I talked about it offline. So I'm a big Jimmy G fan, and sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm not a huge Jimmy G fan, but I'm a big um veteran fan with a guy that's done it, as opposed to a rookie that comes in, hasn't done anything, and he really hasn't done anything in fucking 3 years.
yeah, if he was good enough, he would have supplanted Jimmy last year.
I
And we
I
know
don't
Jimmy's not a rock star, but he's probably like 15 to 20, somewhere in there.
he's solid.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, he's probably 15 to 20 on quarterback rating, or sorry,
rankings.
the rankings a year. Y- um, He's not the thing is Jimmy doesn't turn over the ball, right? So maybe he's even closer to 10 because he doesn't have any turnovers. Maybe 15 or 10 to 15 rather than 15 to 20.
Maybe.
But I mean, the guy's good. Like you said, he's
He's
made
a
it to the
game
Super
manager.
Bowl. He's made it to the Super Bowl, and he's made it to the NFC Championship in separate seasons. And
Yeah, and this team is built to win now, and they can't really wait for Trey Lance. So it is what it is. I think they just gotta, make the most of it right now. Now that they got Debo under contract, George Kittle, as long as he's healthy, and the 17 running backs they're gonna roll out there. Um, yeah, San Francisco's gonna be in the playoffs, guarantee it.
yep, agreed. I picked in my parlay. It wouldn't let me save it, but my parlay, I picked San Francisco to win division. Let's see who else: Philadelphia, Buffalo, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville,
Sneaky, sneaky.
sneaky, Baltimore. Should be a pretty easy one. And then who's the last one? I think I picked the Chargers. Chargers to win the AFC West.
Yeah, I mean it'll be
It's going to be a dogfight that whole year.
between them and at least them and the Chargers and Chiefs. The Raiders are kind of down right now. They're what 0-2, or something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't think that
The Broncos are 1-1.
they're yeah, but the Broncos fucking played Houston, barely won, and lost pretty handily to fucking Seattle. I don't think the Broncos are, unless they change things,
It's still early.
they need to turn things around pretty quickly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to golf.
Yeah. President's Cup started today, bud. I don't know if you watch any of I wasn't able to watch any of the coverage, but
No, I was working.
US Up. I was texting you guys a while ago after Cam Smith and Mark Leishman, a couple other guys went to live. I was like, fucking US is gonna blow the doors off of
Mhm.
the international team. And after day one, they're up 4-1. Biggest surprise though, I mean, there were a couple close matches, like the four of them were pretty close, but Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay beat Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama 6-5. So after the 13th hole, you're done.
Yeah, it's a smoke show.
That is a smoke show. Really surprising. I mean, I figured Adam Scott and Hideki, those are arguably Hideki, arguably probably the best on the international team, and Adam Scott top 4 on the international team.
Xander's really good though.
Well, both Xander and Cantlay, but it was alternate shot too. So it's not like it was like 4-ball or scramble or anything like that. It was alternate shot. So those guys had to put it in the fairway. They had to put it on the greens, make the putts.
Yeah, both of them are really good putters too.
Well, yeah. Cantlay's putting the past couple the past couple months has been dog shit, but anyway, so that was the only real surprise for me. Everything else was 1 up or 2 up or yeah, it was just outside of that, I'll say again, the United States, I was expecting them to be pretty handily take this away. I'm going to guess, what is it, 16.5 to preserve. I'm going to guess they're going to be at 19.5 or 20 points.
So the United States is going to win.
Oh yeah. It would be one of the biggest of upsets of all time if the United States did not win.
So we're just into the third quarter, and it's still 14-13. It's an ugly game. I still predict the Brownies are going to win, but I still need Pat Freiermuth to catch a touchdown.
I need Pat Freiermuth to catch a touchdown. So this is my parlays. Ready? Trubisky, he needs to throw a touchdown. 1. Jacoby Brissett over 179.5 yards. So passing yards. So he needs to throw 180. He's at 134 now. Pretty easily done. Trubisky, 205 or more passing yards. He's at 110. Pretty easily done. Najee Harris.
Deontay Johnson, Butterfingers. Can't catch.
Don't say that. Don't say that, Ian.
Incompletion. Continue.
Oh, wow.
He can't catch.
Right
at him.
It's
because he sucks.
Najee Harris, 66 plus yards. He's at 46. I mean,
it's doable.
Pretty. Yep. Jacoby Brissett will have 25 plus rushing yards. He's at 3. So that's a tough one, but
need a couple scrambles.
Nick Chubb will have 83 or more rushing yards. He's at 58. 8 carries, 58 yards, pretty easily done. Kareem Hunt will have 27 plus receiving yards. He is at 14. I mean, that's pretty easily done. Jacoby Brissett will have 1 score or more, which he already did. He's got 2 touchdown passes. And then Pat Freiermuth will have 1 score or more. So I've only hit on 1 technically right now.
Yeah.
But the other 8 or I'll say 7 outside of Jacoby Brissett's rushing yards, the other 7 are pretty easily achievable. And then if Brissett hits it, if I get all 9 of these, it's on a $5 bet, $4,400.
Good luck,
it's not awful. Not awful.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to watch the rest of the game. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, also on Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Podchaser, Buzzsprout, and Google Podcast. You can now watch the episodes on YouTube on New England Sports Guys channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and help us out. Hit us up on Twitter at NESG Pod and Instagram at NESG_pod. Have a good night, everybody, and go Patriots.
Yeah, appreciate it. And have a great week, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Skipping next week. We'll catch them the week after.
Oh, we're skipping next week?
Aren't you out next week?
I'm in Idaho. I can probably do it from my computer.
We'll see.
All right. Have a good week, everyone.